How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Talking Wolves, or welcome back to a brand new match preview on the channel today. Wolverhampton Wanderers will be taking on Newcastle United this weekend in the Premier League. My name is Dave. I'm going to be giving my thoughts ahead of the game. We're going to be getting the Newcastle perspective as well. We'll talk about our predicted lineup. But as always, if you enjoy the video today, be sure to hit the like button down below, subscribe to the channel, and let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. It's always great to see what you think about the team at the moment. And on a very quick side note, big thanks to anyone that got involved in the Grand Theft Porto t-shirts. The pre-orders for the second batch are now done. They will no longer be available. So that was a limited time to grab one. And we are... well, I'm surprised and very grateful at the demand and how many people got involved. So it really does mean a lot to us here at Talking Wolves. But to the match, Wolves taking on Newcastle United after a very, very solid, I'd say, 1-0 win against Leeds United. We allowed Leeds to play in the first half, and Wolves came out a little bit more in the second half and did what they needed to do, albeit deflected. Raul Jimenez's goal was vital and got us the victory in the end. A few people in the comment section of the video, especially the review, sort of not too happy with how we started the game, which is fair, I think. As fans, I think you want to see your team go for it sort of from the first whistle. And I'm not saying Wolves didn't go for it, because we had one or two decent chances in the first half, but we did allow so much pressure on ourselves, and all it needed was Leeds to grab a goal and we would have looked daft, really. So it will be very, very interesting to see how Wolves set up and line up against Newcastle United, a team who's have done okay so far, you could say. I mean, you look at their start to the season, kicked off with a win against West Ham United, who all of a sudden their season sort of reignited itself. They then lost out 3-0 to Brighton, got a 1-1 draw against Spurs, a 3-1 win over Burnley, and most recently a 4-1 defeat against Manchester United. So it's not really, for Newcastle, it's been pretty inconsistent so far. And they're going to obviously want to try and find a little bit of consistency. That probably won't be helped with their injury problems at the moment. I believe their first two choice goalkeepers are out injured. So their third choice goalkeeper is going to be starting tomorrow against Wolves. So that'll be intriguing to see if Wolves can put any early pressure on him. To see how Newcastle set up. Are they going to sit really deep? Obviously, we'll get the Newcastle perspective later on in the video. But it'll be the first sort of 20-25 minutes will be very telling for Wolves. If we get the ball, at home as well, if we get the ball and just go for it, I think Wolves have got a good chance. But we do have to look out for the dangers of Newcastle United. Alan St Maximin in particular recently signed a new contract at St James's Park. A massive talent and a really, really dangerous player, and it'll be very difficult to deal with him. In terms of Wolves, though, we at the moment, players are playing so well. The likes of Adama Traore are on the bench, which is crazy to think. Is it his time to come back into the first team, start from the off and see what he can do? But saying that, the organisation and the ability of Neto and Podence, it's working. I think that front three is working at the moment. And for 60 minutes of the game, no disrespect to Adama, but you've got that an organised front three and three players that want to get the ball and work with it. Whereas Adama, sometimes you're trying to give him the ball and he doesn't quite know where he is and he just sort of bombs it forward with it. If we can get an Adama Traore with his head screwed on, I would love to see him start a game very, very soon and see him how he can do, especially against these Newcastle teams who, they've just leaked 4 goals recently. They've conceded 3 goals at home to Brighton, who had 10 men as well. So it'll be very interesting to see how both teams start off the game and see how both teams approach the game. I think both teams will be quietly confident. I think Newcastle will be quietly confident. They've had a couple of decent results. They've got decent players, but it's just how they set up. But Wolves have got the quality and the capability, and they should be beating teams like Newcastle United. You look at the table, Wolves with their win on Monday shot up to 6th place. They have dropped down to 7th for the time being, but for a team that, I think we're the only team in the top half with a negative goal difference at the moment. We need to sort of, start putting the ball into the back of the net a little bit more. Let's shoot that goal difference up as well. But a bit of a contrast from last season. We've played 5 games, we've won 3, lost 2. Already 0 draws, which last season we were drawing every other week, it seemed. So I think that's what we might see a little bit more. Yes, Wolves might lose a couple more games, but with the way we play, the way we're going to start approaching games with a bit more energy, Wolves might start winning games, and it wouldn't surprise me to see us topple our points tally again from last season. Right, let's jump into the Newcastle perspective then. We've got Matty from the Magpie channel. He's going to be giving his thoughts ahead of this weekend's game.
Buongiorno everyone, Matty here from the Magpie Channel TV. And Sunday, how am I feeling? Not very good, to be honest with you, because Bruce is more likely going to park the bus and just hope that Darlow can save everything that comes his way, and then give the ball to Alan St. Maximin and hope that Alan St. Maximin to do some magic, because that's all Bruce's tactics are. It's absolutely lifting being a Newcastle fan at the minute. Awful stuff after the summer disappointment and not getting the takeover. A decent transfer window in signing Callum Wilson, Ryan Fraser, Jamal Lewis-ish. His position's a bit dodgy, young left back from Norwich, see how he gets on. But just Brucey is the problem. We haven't strengthened in the management, because Steve Bruce is an absolute dinosaur. He's got the worst percentage record of any Premier League manager with over 300 games. So he's the worst Premier League manager in history. Statistically, technically, everything, literally. And it's awful. It's evident when we play. Everything's so boring, so negative. I mean, Man United at the weekend, that was a terrible Man United team, and we ended up getting battered 4-1 when it was 1-1 with 4 minutes to go. And it's just, we're a shambles. We're all over the shop. We're just, honestly, like Spurs away, how we managed to get a result was unreal. A draw there when it's literally called Olu, our keeper, second choice keeper, because Dubravka, our number 1, is injured. He'll come in and he's got to make the most saves so far in the Premier League season. It shows how much his attack were, and we'll just try and hit you on the counter. That is our best hope in terms of pace and creativity with St. Maximin. Almiron, if he even gets picked, Fraser, if he even gets picked, because those two weren't playing against Man United, and he chose to play Joe Linton as a right midfielder. So it's depressing being a Newcastle fan at the minute, watching Steve Brucey Ball, as we like to call it. But somehow we're doing all right in the league-ish, 7 points, but just shows how poor the standard quality have been so far in a few shot results. Heading into the weekend, though, against Wolves, I could see we're getting battered 3-1, or I could see it being a usual 1-1, which has been the score for the past few times that we've played each other. We have got a really good record at Molineux, but just heading into the game, I don't think it'll be a classic, and I think Bruce will be negative and he'll take a 0-0 now. So, but unfortunately we're wrong. Hopefully we'll get a good game. May the best team win on Sunday. Cheers for having us. Make sure you check out the Magpie Channel TV, subscribe there, and enjoy yourselves. See you later.
So big thanks to Matty. You can find his links in the comment section, in the description, down below. Now, predicted lineup. It would be very, very interesting to see if Nuno tinkers the team. We've been, more or less, there's one change I think to the Leeds for the Leeds game from the Fulham game. But I think it will be the same again. I think Patricio, that's his place at the moment in the team. The back 5 has really shocked me with how I suppose how well they've done over the last couple of games. 2 clean sheets. Nelson Semedo at right wing back, slowly but surely. He's adapting to a new style of play, adapting to a new country. He looked a little bit lost at times against Leeds, but at the same time on the ball going forward, he did look like he could make things happen. He almost and probably should have scored a goal at Fulham as well. The back 3, Cody, of course, in that heart of the defence, has impressed everybody, not just in Wolverhampton, but I think in the country with his performances for England as well. Willy Bolly on the right-hand side of that looked much better in the last game. And Max Kilman, he has come in and surprised us all. Man of the match last week, brand new contract as well for him. So I'm very, very happy for Max Kilman, a player who is so raw, but has still got so much quality and potential as well. And you know what? The fact that England are pushing towards a back 3, he had a man of the match performance. Gareth Southgate was at the game on Monday against Leeds. You know what? 3 or 4 more weeks of that, and he could be in contention of an England call-up. I know it's crazy to think, but it's true. In the Premier League, you have a consistent month or so of performances and you'll get the call-up. So it'll be very interesting to see how his season progresses really. But he's made that left centre back spot his own at the moment. And Romain Saiss at left wing back, you know what? He's not been too bad. I think he's shocked us all with how well he's been there. But going forward as well, he was so unlucky to have his goal chalked off against Leeds. What a finish that was, by the way. Such a great goal. But he's doing okay there. And it's crazy that to think that he's keeping the likes of Marcel and Ryan Aït-Nouri out the team at the moment, who I think everyone is excited to see a little bit more of. But Saiss is doing all right at the moment, and he's getting involved not just defensively but in front of goal as well. The midfield too will intrigue me. I think Dendoncker has to start. His record this season speaks for itself. 3 games, I think he started, 3 wins for Wolves and 3 clean sheets. He didn't start in the 2 games that we lost this season. So I think he has to start. Whether that's with Neves or Moutinho, I'm not sure. I think Neves has slightly more legs about him, but Moutinho looked alright against Leeds. So maybe Nuno will rotate the 2 of them and give them both equal game time. I'm not sure. And then the front 3. Jimenez is a cert to start. I think Pedro Neto is a cert to start. And it's probably 50-50 between Daniel Podence and Adama Traore. I think Nuno will edge for Podence again. I think he'll try and keep Adama as that sort of that super sub. However, saying that, if he starts Adama, I think Newcastle will just sit really, really deep, and that could work well for Wolves. Just allow us to put the pressure on them early doors. So it will be very, very interesting to see how Nuno starts and how Wolves play. But you look at already, a little bit of consistency now, and the players that are already struggling to break back into the first 11. I know it's a long season, but Vitinha has barely had a shout this season. Aït-Nouri, who's a massive talent. I really hope we get to see him eventually, but he's got a couple of players now ahead of him in the pecking order, it seems. So, and Kiana Hoover as well. I know these players are so young, they've got a lot of time at Molineux, but it will be very intriguing to see how the season adapts. And this is a big game. I'm really hoping Wolves can take the game to Newcastle. If we can grab 3 points, get up to 12 points after 6 games, I think that's a very, very good record and a great start to the season as well. So I'm looking forward to it. Score prediction, you know what I'm going to say. I'm going to go over 2-1 Wolves. As always, the one day I change that, I think the one day Wolves will actually get a 2-1. So maybe I'll change that for next week or whenever we play one of the big boys. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, guys. Hopefully it is a win for Wolves. We'll be back after the game with our reaction and reviews to the match. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you all very, very soon.